night in the suburbs. At the edge of one particular den, something small and round is waiting at the door. It is patient. It wears a little gold collar. The collar reads $4 a month. It does not bark or scratch. It waits. The door opens a crack. The consumer looks down at the small, cheap, harmless thing, and it does what it always does. It lets the creature in. $4, the consumer reasons, is practically nothing. This is technically true. It is also the trap. The species Homo Spendens, the consuming human, builder of rockets, splitter of atoms, and adopter of anything with a monthly fee. Tonight, nature's strangest livestock arrangement. A species that keeps predators as pets and pays for the privilege. The consumer believes it keeps 4, perhaps 5 of these creatures. It is quite confident. It is also quite wrong, because the $4 creature has one remarkable talent. Once inside a den, it becomes very, very difficult to see, and it has another. Somewhere in the walls, quietly, in the dark, it multiplies. This film asks 3 questions. How many are in there? Who let them in? And why the door only opens inward? First, the count. Researchers ask consumers to guess their monthly subscription bill. The average guess, $86. Then they did something unsporting. They opened the bank statements. The actual average, $219. The consumer was wrong by $133. Every month, it is not lying, it genuinely cannot see them. In another study, 9 in 10 specimens underestimated the bill. 2/3 were off by more than $200. Observe the den by flashlight. Streaming, music, the meditation app, at peace, untouched since January. 4 in 10 consumers are actively feeding at least one creature they have entirely forgotten they own. The youngest adults keep the largest herds. The average Gen Z specimen feeds its creatures nearly $380 a month. That is more than many specimens put away for the lean season. The creatures eat first. The future eats what remains. A reasonable observer might ask how a species this clever ends up herding invisible animals it cannot count. For that, we must travel back to 1955 and to the ancestor of every creature in the modern den. Long before the app, there was the postcard. A club promised the herd records and books, delivered monthly for almost nothing. Columbia House. 12 albums for a single penny, taped to a postcard. The herd joined by the million. The innovation lived in the fine print. Albums kept arriving with bills, unless the consumer wrote back, "Stop." Scientists call this the negative option. Silence means yes. The consumer's laziness became a revenue stream. It worked magnificently. At its peak near the year 2000, the penny record business was taking in $1.5 billion a year. The ancestor finally died in 2009, outrun by the Internet. The obituaries were fond. The DNA, however, escaped, because every creature in the modern den, every streaming service, every app, every box of monthly razors, carries the same gene. By default it stays. By default it feeds. Silence, 70 years on, still means yes. And in the wild, the easiest way past a consumer's defences has never changed. You offer the first one free. Observe the free trial. To the consumer it looks like a gift. 30 days of everything, for nothing. No strings visible. To the biologist it looks like something else entirely. An egg. Harmless today. Billing in 30 days. The trial asks only one small thing, a card number. For safekeeping, it says. The consumer, charmed, hands over the key to the den. Then comes the incubation period, 30 days during which the consumer must remember one date. It is not good at this. Nearly half of all consumers admit they have forgotten to cancel a trial and been charged. Half of those more than once. Among the young herd, it is worse. 2 in 3 millennial specimens have fed a creature they only meant to babysit. Day 31 arrives. The egg hatches quietly at 3 in the morning. No sound, no confetti, just a small withdrawal. and here the creature deploys its finest camouflage. It is too small to fight. $9. The consumer has meetings. It will cancel next month, it tells itself, in the exact tone it once used about the gym. But small is a strategy, not a size, because once inside the den, the creatures grow. 2019. A brand new streaming creature arrives at the world's doors, big ears, blue collar, $7 a month. The herd adopted it by the 100 million. It was cheap, it was cheerful, and it knew every song their children loved. Today that creature costs $19. It never asked. Collars, in this ecosystem, resize themselves at night, up 172% in 6 years. Its cousin from the fruit company, up 160. The peacock, an actual peacock, has more than doubled. Researchers call this streamflation. The herd calls it, wait, how much? A den keeping 15 of the popular creatures now pays $237 a month. Half again what it paid in 2020. Each raise arrives by email at a shy $2, wearing the phrase, an update to your membership. $2 is, of course, practically nothing. The consumer archives the email. Somewhere a pricing analyst is promoted. Still, the streaming creatures are at least used. To meet the den's true apex freeloader, we must visit the gym. January. The Great Migration. Herds stream toward the gyms, glowing with resolve, card numbers ready. 2 economists once followed nearly 8,000 of them for 3 years. What they found belongs in every textbook and several sermons. Members paying $70 a month attended 4 times, $17 per visit, per treadmill, per shame. A $10 day pass existed the entire time. Choosing it instead would have saved the average specimen $600. The members had predicted they would go nearly 10 times a month. They went 4. The study's title, Paying Not to Go to the Gym. The gym knows all this. The gym is, in fact, an elegant machine for harvesting optimism about one's future self. Its dearest members never visit. They pay. The equipment lasts forever. Everyone is happy monthly. And should a specimen attempt to leave, many gyms accept cancellation only 2 ways, in person or by certified letter. A certified letter. The consumer who subscribed in 11 seconds from a sofa must now locate a post office to escape, which brings us at last to the door itself, and why in this habitat it only opens inward. Signing up for things, the consumer notices, is frictionless. 1 click, 1 tap. Occasionally the button glows before it is even touched. Leaving is a different terrain. Regulators have a term for the design of exits that do not want to be found. Dark patterns. Consider the largest retailer on Earth. Cancelling its membership once took 4 pages, 6 clicks, and 15 options. At every step, the path offered snacks. A discount here, a reminder of benefits there. A gentle, are you certain? And another. Engineers inside the company had a private name for this exit maze. They called it the Iliad. The Iliad is an ancient poem about a 10-year war. The engineers, whatever their ethics, understood their product. In September 2025, that company paid $2.5 billion to settle the matter. A record, refunds for $35 million. The law behind the case is charmingly simple. Leaving a subscription must be as easy as entering one. That such a law exists tells you everything about the terrain. Nature does not legislate against gravity, only against things that keep happening. And for one shining moment in 2025, it looked as though the whole habitat would be redesigned. Clipboards were coming. The plan was called Click to Cancel. One federal rule, any subscription joined in 1 click must die in roughly 1 click. Years of drafting followed. The start date, July the 14th, 2025. The herd allowed itself hope. On July the 8th, 6 days before the rule took effect, a federal court struck it down entirely. Not because simple cancellation was a bad idea. The agency, it turned out, had skipped a step in its own paperwork. The rule that would have freed the consumer from fine print was undone by a procedural technicality. Nature is not without irony, so the exits remain for now exactly where the creature's owners prefer them. Behind 4 pages, 6 clicks, and a post office. Some states built their own doors, California among them. Elsewhere, an older law asks politely that exits exist. The clipboards, in short, were sent back down the mountain. They are expected to try again. The creatures are not concerned. Which leaves one final question, the biggest in this film. Why does the habitat work this hard to keep tiny creatures alive? Follow the money and the scale appears. The world's subscription economy this year, $722 billion. By 2030, it is forecast to pass $1 trillion. $1 trillion, $4 to $19 at a time. The industry calls this the retention era. Translation, new consumers are expensive, old ones are cheap. The cheapest consumer of all has forgotten you exist. No service to render, just the quiet monthly withdrawal. Forgetting is not a flaw in this system. Forgetting is the yield. Somewhere in every forecast, your memory has been priced. Then came the AI frenzy. The herd adopted oracles, creatures that answer any question, $20 a month. The enthusiastic specimen keeps 4 at $66 a month. Broadly speaking, it is the same animal 4 times. One keeper in 4 feeds its oracles over $100 monthly. Several sit wise, collared, and never consulted. The consumer is not oblivious. It senses the creatures in the walls. Nearly half the herd admits it, overspends on them. And so the species, ever the toolmaker, has responded with a new creature that hunts the other creatures. Apps now prowl the den, sniffing out forgotten subscriptions. A splendid service. The full version costs $7 a month. The consumer bought a subscription to fight its subscriptions. Somewhere, the penny postcard ancestor smiles. Dusk settles on the den. The flashlight finds them all now, collars glinting in the walls, patient, well-fed, entirely legal. Yet some specimens thrive. Over 1/3 of the herd cancelled at least one creature in 6 months. The thriving ones share a ritual. Once a season they open the bank statement and read every line, like tracks in snow. Each creature found answers one question: when did you last feed me anything? Silence, this time, means goodbye. They mark the egg's hatch date on the calendar the day it arrives. Present self writes, future self merely obeys. And the $4 creature from our opening scene? Still there, still patient. Tonight, the consumer finally notices it. It looks at the creature looks back, neither is angry. Both understand it was never really about $4. It was about the door, and about a species so hopeful about its future self that it keeps paying the bills of its past one. Homo Spendens, fed upon monthly by everything it once clicked. It will be fine, probably. It just needs to check something first. Next, the sale. The herd gathers at dawn. Everything is 40% off. Off what? No one asks.